And welcome back to Everyman Driver. I'm Dave Erickson. Thanks so much for watching. This week we're on special assignment at the 2014 Portland International Auto Show, and we just wrapped up the presentation from Chrysler featuring this, the 2015 Chrysler 200.
So it's all new from the ground up this year. Everything on the car is new. It's based on the compact US-wide platform that the Dart and the Jeep Cherokee sit on. It's derived from the Alfa Romeo Giulietta, so it offers some great ride and handling opportunities for us with the midsize sedan. I think you guys all know, but the midsize sedan is the largest retail segment in the United States. One of every 6 vehicles sold is a midsize sedan. So it's a hugely important car from us, both in terms of the size of the segment and opportunity, and it also oftentimes is an entry level into the brand. The other thing about the midsize sedan segment is it's really competitive. Every car in the segment is good. So we really needed to bring our A game to compete in that segment credibly, and we think this car does it. So it's got 4 models. The LX starts at $21,700, which is $95 less than our outgoing model. 9-speed transmission is standard on every model. We're the only midsize sedan to offer that. Keyless enter and go, some really cool features that you don't normally see at that price range. It's nicely equipped, even the entry-level model. The next one up is the Limited. It's $23,255 is the starting price. We believe that's going to be our volume model with about 48% of the sales. It's standard with the 2.4-liter Tiger Shark Multi-Air 2 engine, 184 horsepower, 171 pound-feet of torque. Next up is the 200S, so we are staying with the popular S model. It's a little bit darker, a little bit grittier look, also more of a performance model. There is changes in the suspension tuning and physical mechanical changes to give it a sportier drive. That starts at $24,495. Then the top of the line 200C starts at $25,995. Really well loaded, totally topped out. You're still in the $38,000 range, even with every option. So very competitive in the segment. The segment is so competitive, you can't really get crazy in the pricing. The other thing is we offer a really innovative all-wheel drive system. It has a disconnecting rear axle, so when you don't need the all-wheel drive, it'll run in front-wheel drive. It enables us to get we don't have the EPA numbers yet, but we think with the 4-cylinder engine, we should get 35 highway as a fuel economy rating. So very competitive in the segment in the fuel economy as well. So there's a lot of great features: 9-speed transmission, fully electronic shifting with a rotary dial. The V6 Pentastar engine offers a best-in-class 295 horsepower, 272 pound-feet of torque. So you've got 2 engines, the 9-speed transmission, the available all-wheel drive, which also is more of a performance all-wheel drive than just get you through the snow. Up to 60% of the torque can go to the rear wheel, so it makes for a great driving experience. Should hit dealerships in the second quarter.
With this car here, we wanted to start with a completely new design direction for the Chrysler brand. You can see here, this is showcasing our new front end, our new design for the Chrysler brand. You can see a lot of emphasis on the front end of this car has been placed on the wing. You can see all the forms around the car kind of celebrate the wing to kind of show it off, whereas before we might have had it kind of hidden in the chrome header. You can see that a lot of this sculptural Mobius strip here is what we're calling it, kind of accentuates the wing badge along with these hood forms which kind of aim towards it. You can see that this chrome element here is actually mimicked here and is the inverse of it down low. It's just a whole lot of emphasis on this car here was to kind of celebrate the wing badge and kind of give it a new look for the car. You can see this one here is showing here with our LED daytime running lights. It's also got LED fog lamps, which are optional for this car. When we talk about the lighting signature, you can see it's very popular now to kind of have a very unique appearance to the car in terms of lighting. It's another way to differentiate yourself from some of the other brands out there. It's got a very streamlined appearance and a very coupe-like look. You can see it's got a very nice short deck lid, which gives it a very aerodynamic feel. Not only is it look aerodynamic, it's actually the most aerodynamic vehicle in its class, so it kind of actually works that way. You can see a lot of attention was played to some of the detailing and surfacing on the car. It's one of those cars I think you'll appreciate it when you look at it, from first glance, but one of those things you'll start to appreciate it the more you touch it, the more you feel it. One of those cars you'll start to get to know it as you wash the car. You can see there's a lot of attention that was played to surfacing and a lot of the highlights. I think it's one of those cars that'll look very liquid and in motion when you see it driving down the road. That was kind of the effect we were trying to go through it. The main character line that's on the cars, as you can see, is the line that connects from the front all the way to the back and kind of wraps back around. This car, this design theme here was actually we actually pulled a little bit of inspiration, not to be retro, but to kind of bring back some of our heritage as some of the 60s Chrysler vehicles. And actually that line is actually on the current 300 today. It's obviously done in a different, more modern interpretation, but we just wanted to have that American feel, that American design to it. And you can see all the surfacing kind of comes and ties to this line here. It's a very humanistic forms, you know, very muscular, something you want to touch and feel. And with this here, if you actually look at the car from the rear view, it gives the car a really nice wide stance. So when you're looking at the car from a rear view, it's got a very nice planted, you know, sporty appearance to the car. This here is shown here with our optional 19-inch wheels. Throughout the whole lineup, we've got a very different amount of looking wheels. They're very unique, very sporty, youthful. We wanted to kind of give the car, you know, definitely a more youthful appearance here. So these are with the optional 19-inch wheels. You can see even on the DLO here, it's very stretched out and very long, accented with this chrome piece here to kind of give it the stretched look and give it a very premium appearance. If you walk around to the back, you can see a lot of time was spent here on the rear end to kind of give it a very nice flush look. One of the things we really tried to work with engineering to meet, you know, safety requirements and crash requirements is to give it a really short bumper offset. If you look at a lot of competitor vehicles, they've got a really big offset. The offset is the distance from the bumper to the deck lid. You can see there's a very short one here, giving a nice flush look from both sides of the car. And also here, it's got a very integrated ducktail spoiler. I mean, this thing here gives a nice, very wide appearance. You can see it's got wide shoulders here, but it actually works really well for aerodynamic purposes. And you see the taillights here, these are a very unique shape to them. We spent a lot of time trying to come up with a unique signature. Actually, this shape here, if you look at it, it's actually half of a wing, kind of inverse there, so that's kind of where we gave the inspiration for that. And a lot of time was spent to give you the nice, very even glow appearance, so you don't get some of the older cars now, they got the hot spot LEDs. A lot of time was spent to give it this nice, really drawn, even look. And this one here is shown with the dual exhaust. That's when you get the 6-cylinder, you get the dual exhaust, or on an S, it's standard, regardless of which engine you get.
When we approached designing this car, obviously a fresh design, the interior, same thing, it's brand new. Well, we decided on a philosophy, right? And we said, what is American design? We went back and looked, but just to ground everyone, it's like if I said what is British, you would think, oh, the Queen and 007, right? So what's American? We would be here all day to describe that. But we tried to define what is American design. That we're good at. I'm a designer, we're designers, so we tried to define that statement. What we found out, it's not just the product, the shapes, we're talking about the philosophy behind it. When you look at an iPhone, it's square, it's glass, it's metal, it's simple, but it makes a statement and it packs a ton of technology. So with that in mind, we set out to design this American design interior, right? Broad strokes, right? So at first glance, everything's drawn with very simple forms, very emotional, but inviting. We used decorative wood. This is real wood applique. Usually you would see, you know, in any other car, you'd see just a little sliver of it. It'd be buried in the door or the IP, the instrument panel, and that'd be that. But here it's a structural element. When you close the doors, it appears as if it holds up the whole instrument panel. And we're talking about a big, broad, expansive piece of wood. Moving on to the IP, same thing. You can see the same strategy, right? A big piece of wood, and it literally is a structural element. It holds up the 8.4-inch screen. That's our new, that's our Uconnect system, award-winning. And as you move forward to the cluster, it literally holds the cluster in. It's a structural element. The cluster features the new 7-inch color TFT screen, highly customizable. It uses the new Chrysler corporate steering wheel with intuitive controls on it. The showcase of this interior to us is the new console. I don't know if you guys have noticed. When you think of an automatic car, you think of a shifter, and there's probably a linkage and cables down there. We replaced all that with a 9-speed transmission using a small rotary shifter. So if you see what that enables, this brand new console, we call it the pass-through. So underneath the shifter, because there's no linkage, because there's only a few wires, what you see is an open space from passenger to driver for storage. It doesn't stop there. From the shifter rearward, it's completely open, and it takes a little while to notice that. So when you lift the armrest and you slide the cup holder back, that whole console is completely open underneath. We took a lot of pride in executing what we came up with, not just from a design standpoint, but also, again, the feel of it. When you operate that cup holder, and I invite you to do that, it's got what we call furniture grade like quality. Basically, it doesn't feel like plastic, right? It slides, it has a certain weight to it, a certain feel, like furniture that you would expect expensive furniture to have. The color and trim story was based on great American cities, right? So here you see an old black interior, real wood with bronze accents, bronze piping. We call this the New York City interior, right? Gritty, nighttime, but edgy with an attitude.
And keep it right here on Everyman Driver for more exclusive footage and videos from the 2014 Portland International Auto Show.